Steam Deck. This is a piece of kit that I have been pretty much obsessed with for 6 months. I don't remember, maybe 9 months. I can't remember when I actually got my hands on it, but I have just recently kind of reformatted and started from scratch on it because after multiple plugin installs and EmuDeck just kind of losing my retro achievements login every single time I updated, I figured I'd give it a go. But I have wanted to do some sort of Steam Deck roulette where we pick off kind of different types of games to play and get them up and running. Because I think part of the fun of the Steam Deck is seeing what it can do. Obviously, one part of that is trying to get, ultra modern games that are demanding running on it. Like, I played some Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I played some Sunset Overdrive. There was something else I played that was a similar sort of... but those types of games, yes, that's interesting. The other side of it, though, is what you can do with the rest of your Steam library. And as you can see, like, I've got 1,300 games on my Steam account for whatever reason. And I've already been thwarted once because I tried recording this and Bionic Commando Rearmed, I couldn't get bottles to work. If you don't know what bottles is, go and have a look. Hopefully I'll get to come back to it when it gets updated or when I can figure out what the hell the problem is. But I figured we'd start even easier and pick out some kind of DOS games to play with. Now, this is interesting because a lot of the DOS games will be expecting keyboard inputs. So Duke Nukem 2 is one that I have had a play around with before. And so I sort of know it works. Runs in DOSBox. So I guess the thing to mention, it's running on the Steam Deck, docked. I've got the resolution set to 1280 by 800, which is the native resolution of the screen. Oh, turn that up. Crank that. So, there's probably a fair number of people who were never aware of Duke Nukem 1 and 2 as side-scrolling games. They're pretty good. But Duke Nukem 2 especially. I'm not a massive fan of the first one. But yeah, these were the precursor to Duke Nukem 3D.
I am back.
Okay, we don't need to go through the story because you can go and play it for yourself. So I can't remember when I got this on Steam. I think there was some Apogee pack at some point. Right, so first things first, we need to get controls working. So I'm using a PS4 controller as well, just so I didn't have to hold the Steam Deck, but obviously this would work with the Steam Deck. So there's no community. There we go. So community layouts are pretty cool, because what it should do is specifically kind of set up for that game. Obviously you can create your own, but that's a specific effort. So let's just have a quick look. So it looks like the movement is mapped to every single analog stick, D-pad, trackpad. So X is jump, circle fire, square is pause, return is triangle. Obviously, if you don't like the controls, you can go change them yourself. Cool, that is working. How do I hit the... No. So enter is select. What was enter? Was it triangle? Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Okay. So that's the weirdness here, is that you're kind of, you're playing with games that were built for I don't know if this ever had like Gravis gamepad support. Alright, so we've got a jump, we've got our shoot. Oh, shit. So yeah, this is... this, just for the record, like for anyone who's not aware of this game, this is before the era of games having smooth scrolling on PC. Hence why it looks so janky. You know, we're playing a game built for DOS. Oh, there we go. I don't have the recording lost audio then, but I did. That's different weapons. So the thing is, you could probably play this using DOSBox on a number of different platforms. I'm sure the PSP had a port of DOSBox. I'm sure if you've got some sort of modified, like a Vita or a Switch or something like that, you probably could do it. Obviously, your Windows PC can run DOSBox or DOSBox Next, or even any of the kind of more modern like PCEM or 86box, that sort of stuff. That will do something similar. But I think the fact that this is natively kind of connected to Steam, you might even be able to do it with EmuDeck. Actually, I haven't tried that. Yeah, but the fact that you can literally, well, I don't know if you can buy this actually. I don't know if this is still available, but you can buy this from the Steam store, or you can certainly buy DOS games from the Steam store. I think I've gone back to the start of the level, and just get it up and running on a Linux little PC. And I'm sure the performance of this would be... I think you'd finish the game before you run out of battery. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, so that is Duke Nukem 2. I mean, you could play with PC sound if you wanted to, but this runs about as I expect. It's about as smooth as I kind of would anticipate. That's a checkpoint. God, I'm sucking at this. Right, what's down there? Music's good as well. I think the music's by Bobby Prince. I'm pretty sure it is by the guy who did the soundtrack to Doom. Ah. But yeah, that's Duke Nukem 2. Let's try something else. So let's try Duke Nukem 3D. I've got two versions of Duke Nukem 3D on my Steam account, neither of which I think are still on sale, which is funny. So I'm pretty sure this one will be the standard DOS version. Ooh. What? Oh, wow, okay. So... right, I'm going to need a mouse and keyboard. So Duke Nukem 3D. Let's go native resolution. Just trying to fix my audio because it feels like it's out of sync. Right, so we've got to fix controls again. Right, let's have a look at this. So... okay, it looks like they've attempted to kind of map it appropriately. Let's give it a go. That's not a good start. Is there an arrow? Is there an up and down arrow key? How am I going to get into game? Oh. Okay, triangle seems to be to get me into the menu.
Let's rock.
Alright, let's just do that.
Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Alright, that maps the whole... It's very sensitive, but... let me try switching it back to the other one. Which was that one. Oh, oh, Christ. There we go, that's better. I mean, it's playable. It looks some way decent. Actually runs pretty well, to be honest. Yeah, controls are going to be the... I suppose the thing is, with the actual... Like, I am simulating this a little bit because I'm using a PS4 controller. But obviously on the Steam Deck, you've got gyro and you've got the touchpads. So you might get away with the mouse look a bit more. Buttons? Okay, square's the use button, right? That all works. But the thing is, it is janky. It is like, you know, but then the whole thing with the Steam Deck is it's all kind of a bit of a DIY way of putting this stuff together. Well, I'll tell you what, out of curiosity, let's try the Megaton edition. So apparently I have 6 hours in this? Did I play a lot of this? That's some MIDI. Okay, this looks more modern. Okay, it's automatically has done 1280x800. I'm guessing this is going to look a lot cleaner. Yeah, it's got more kind of well, the movement controls work, but nothing else does. What are the controls? Have a look at the... Alright, let's try that. Yeah, see, I think the thing is, these have been around for a long time because of the Steam controller. There we go. Oh, have I got some... I might have some drift on this analog stick. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's very sensitive. Jetpack not found yet. What's the... How do I jump? They must have bound a key to jump, surely. It's nice that they're labelled as well. Like, somebody's gone to a lot of trouble try. Let's try a different setting. I mean, this says to use a specific command when you launch it, but cool. maybe that's the issue. Oh, it's got gyro. Wow, but gyro for the mouse. All right, but that works. Like it would just be finding like specific controls. Yeah, I got 12 achievements in this. I must have played quite a bit of this. Don't remember that at all. Last one on the Duke train was Manhattan Project, which I'm aware is not really a DOS game, I don't think. I think this was Windows at this point, because it was about 2000. But again, I'm curious to see if we can get this running. I'll be interested to see if there's any community layouts for it. Alright, supply that.
Take that, you dirty rat.
Cancel. Okay, so it's gone 640 by 480. Can I change that? I mean, I'll also go 1024 by 768, I suppose. 32-bit. Let's just crank this one up. Interesting that it's the renderer is AMD Van Gogh. So this was a 2D, 3D rendered, side-scrolling platformer that I remember coming out and kind of remember being interesting. I guess I can't skip the cutscenes. Oh, so the touchpad's escape. Yeah, this was a weird one. It was kind of like as people were waiting for the.
Say hello to my little friend. Let's rock.
For Duke Nukem Forever. Just can't remember the name of it.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
Yeah, I remember this being budget priced. I think it was like 20 quid or something like that.
New York. If
Okay.
I can kill him here, I can kill him anywhere. Making bacon.
That works. See, this, I mean, it's kind of amazing to me. In an era where, you know, Sony can barely get backwards compatibility working at all, that you can play, what, a 2000 era PC game on a different operating system, on different hardware, with controller mappings. Like, that's kind of nuts. Let's turn this down a little bit. Oh, Jesus. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, I can go in the water now because it won't electrocute me.
Making bacon.
Can you go round? How do you? Okay. So I can't go that way. So how do I get back up there? Just jump? That's like a double jump. But this runs smooth. It would actually be interesting, and maybe for a future one of these, we should look at some games that don't actually run very well on Windows 10. Okay, that's a bit. That's feeling a little bit. Okay, let's experiment. How am I going to get that menu open without... There we go, I'll just do that. I'll just reach over and press the thing. So if I turn the performance overlay on, that at least gives us a bit of an indication in terms of if we get some stutter. Yeah, because as you would expect, GPU and the CPU not doing a great deal. And CPU is doing more than I expected, actually. But, wait, if you find a crack on the wall, the one down there. Oh yeah. This game's cool. It's probably doesn't hold up very well. It was yeah, kind of interesting at the time because there wasn't many games like this on the PC. Specifically that took advantage of PC hardware. And if I remember rightly, the hardware it needed was pretty humble. I don't think it was particularly hungry, which again, like, appreciated at the time.
I hate pigs.
Oh, well, that's a bit finicky. This seems slick to me. Oh, cool. Well, I've got a couple more games to try out because I was just trying to pick out kind of random DOS era Steam games that I am familiar enough that I can play and roughly get a feel for, whether they're actually running properly. It's not even any like graphical issues I can see really. It's running nicely. Oh, shotgun.
Someone's gonna pay for making me find these friggin' key cards.
Well, hey, I will say one thing. This is definitely better than Duke Nukem Forever. No matter what platform you play it on. Alright, I'll stop, because I'm enjoying this too much, clearly. Yeah, save, why not? Okay. I'll press enter on the keyboard. Alright. One or two more games. Okay, it seems to have gotten itself confused. I was going to suggest Heretic, because for some reason it says it's not supported. Now, if you're not familiar with Heretic, it is a Doom engine game produced by Raven Software. I need to turn the controls on every time. That's the problem. It's so slick that you just get used to. Hexen and Heretic. That sounds. Steam Deck controls. Let's download that one. Again, like, look at that. Like, they've labelled the buttons as well. I've got to say the screen doesn't look very nice. It's very low res, but it's probably because it's running at 320 by 240, 320 by 200 maybe. Right, what's my shoot button? Not that, that's escape. Right, that's how. Okay, it's R2. As you would expect. Or your right trigger, whatever you want to call it. So I've also inadvertently turned the HUD off, haven't I? Because I've turned the screen size up. Hang on, let me turn that back. Oh, Jesus. It's because they change. I will say that that is a bit of a downside, is that... how do I... Okay, tell you what. I'm going to cheat. When I've got a keyboard sat in front of me. That's the thing. I think you're probably going to find that a keyboard is worth having around when you're setting these things up. But once you've got them set up, I would anticipate you won't need it. Because you could use the on-screen keyboard with Steam. Is there a run button? That's interesting. Boot. Oh, that's cool. They've actually built a little... Because I don't have any other weapons, so that's not very useful for me, but... You can actually kind of use the radial menu. Try and remember how this level works. I always quite like this game. It's I kind of never got into Hexen. It's probably one of those games I should go back and I probably even got it on my Steam account actually. I probably should give it some time and actually try and play it because I liked Heretic. It was an interesting... As somebody who was obsessed with Doom, Heretic was just kind of at least an alternative. Especially in an era when, you know, your alternatives that were equivalent, you know, because you've got Blake Stone and Corridor 7 and all that sort of stuff, but it wasn't quite... How do I... Okay, that works. Then I can electrocute them with my hands. Interesting that the frame rate is all over the place. Get back out of here. And you can see how where they've taken, like, here are the weapons that would have been in Doom, and we have made kind of equivalents for them. You know, like this is very clearly the chainsaw. The next weapon you get is like a bolt gun, which is very clearly the shotgun. But I think, you know, a different setting, different kind of visual style, like that does a lot of the work. God, I'm running out of health. What's the use button? There we go, square. Magic book. Can't remember what that does. Don't actually remember a lot about this game, to be honest, other than those guys. I would anticipate there are much better ways to play Heretic than to play this kind of Steam version, because it is bare bones. It's... You are literally just looking at... This is the DOS game in DOSBox, no frills. I'm sure... Well, I mean, with the amount of source ports for the Doom engine, I guarantee you there are better ways to run this. Oh, and I'm dead. That's cool, because it means we can have a look at our last game. Once I can get out of this menu. Exit. So I picked one that wasn't a first-person shooter, because I figured that would be important. This is Raptor, which I really liked. There were two of these types of games that I played on the PC a lot. There was Raptor and there was Tyrion 2000. But yeah, I thought Raptor was super cool. And we only had it on a shareware CD. But that was enough for us. Nice little cutscene. Right. Controller. Votre configuration modifie pour ce jeu. Sure. Let's try that one. Cool, that seems to work. How do I get out of this menu? Which of these buttons? Select, apparently. Yeah, see, this is a bit of a problem because... Okay, they've mapped the analog stick to the mouse. That's nice. But, you know, you could type this. But, you know. Let's go veteran. I'm not going to play very much of it anyway. Yes, this is where not having a mouse. Buy one of them. Why not? Oh god, it's selling all my energy. What is going on with this? Right, bye. Oh my god. So I'm gonna press select before I make another mess. There we go. I've got no fire button. A mouse cursor there, that's... what? Control key is circle, apparently. It's gone well for me, that's what we're saying. Alright, let's try the other one. And again, some of these community layouts, like that's clearly for the Steam controller. Let's try this one that's actually for the Steam Deck. That might be a better fit. Apply that. Now I've got to figure out which button it is. R2. Right, okay. R2. Death Ray? I never got a Death Ray. Let's try again. I've got no music. I have noticed that. No. Okay, we can fire. The music, I mean, the music is definitely part of the experience, so I would be looking to try and figure out why that's not working. I mean, yeah, play Raptor. It's badass. And I guess the thing is, even if you chose to play this on Deck, which I assume must have the DOS core available for Steam Deck, I've not tried. I would presume it would be more up to date than the Steam release. Probably mean the game runs better. You can still get access to the Steam controller stuff, especially if you launch it through Emulation Station or whatever. But yeah, that is the the promise of Steam Deck Roulette, I guess, is we'll get some games barely working. Hopefully next time we can play something a little bit more tricky to get working, because a lot of these work out of the box. But I do think there is something to be said for running these things. Certainly the DOS games, you might want to even install the Steam version and then rip the game out of the folder and run it with EmuDeck. Might be easier. Ta-ta!